If you've worked in the pork industry for any length of time, you've heard the name John Parker.
John is not just a friend, he's more like a brother.
One of the things he taught me was the importance of professionalism in what we did. And so today I put on a coat and a tie because John wore a coat and a tie to everything.
I don't think I ever met John that he went in a jacket and a tie. You first have to understand that John was really the consummate Southern gentleman.
So John was a behind-the-scenes kind of gentleman.
He's a true gentleman. There's an old adage that the first thing a kid in the South learns is politics. He knew politics.
I heard someone once describe John as a political animal. And I think what they meant was he had this innate understanding of how politics worked.
And one of John's superpowers was he would use his Southern gentleman flair to kind of allow people to underestimate him just enough to give him a slight advantage.
The stories I'm told is John would just show up and take folks and they'd just walk in the door and say, hey, I'm John Parker with Virginia Pork and I'd like to see so-and-so.
He would show up to a senator's office or a congressman with no time scheduled, no agenda. And he would always find this way of kind of using his gentlemanly flair to get us in.
And he'd get producers connected to that legislator, explain why the issue was important to producers, and sure enough, 90% of the time, 2 or 3 days later, the issue was solved.
There were a lot of things in the National Pork Act when it did pass that included his thoughts and his direction, and his weight is incredible when you look at the influence that he's had, because I think a lot of people never realized how active he was.
And we went through some very difficult times trying to basically restart MPPC in 2002, and John was a very big factor of that success.
In the early days of the Virginia Pork Council, John really set the tone for the organization. Pre-social media, pre-Facebook, pre-email, he was on the road and he was knocking on doors and he was going to meet producers at their farm. He wasn't sending out a newsletter, he was the newsletter.
John was also kind of a regional leader. So Virginia, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina.
He was a leader of all of those legislative states.
And maybe more importantly, he had this miraculous ability to bring people together and have them participate in the organization in a way that even today, as successful as the organization is, we still strive to have the level of involvement and membership that John was able to bring to the table.
When I think of John Parker, I think of 3 things. One is a Southern gentleman. Number 2 is somebody that could figure things out and get people connected. And the other part of it is John was very genuine, had great political connections, had great producer connections, but his real gift was putting those 2 things together.
John's legacy isn't in headlines. It's in the people he supported, the trust he built, and the example he set. The pork industry was blessed that he was a part of it.
And I want to offer John my congratulations and thank him for his many years of contribution in building the national pork industry.